go back to his natural shooting guard position. Look for him to try to post up Avery Bradley a little bit more, but it doesn't allow Kevin Garnett to roam free as that extra defender because he's going to be having to check Al Horford.
We have a good officiating crew tonight here in Atlanta. Danny Crawford along with David Jones and Tom Washington. Boston shooting so well. They had better ball movement in that Game 4 win. And Rajon Rondo was terrific with his decision-making, but there's got to be concern about Paul Pierce. He was not at the morning shoot-around. He tweaked the knee injury that he suffered in the shoot-around before Game 4. So how he comes out tonight and plays will be one of the early signs we look for.
And you're putting a bigger physical defender and Marvin Williams on him, so it'll be interesting to see how that mobility is.
Bradley was taking it inside. That's the first turnover of the game. And it goes to the Boston Celtics, and a turnover right there by Atlanta. And a quick foul put on Smith for the Hawks. Josh Smith, who had a 15-point Game 4 in 32 minutes. That's the first on him. 18 turnovers, Reg, by the Hawks in Boston on Sunday night.
Well, we talked about Joe Johnson having the advantage and the height advantage over Avery Bradley down when he does take him into the post. But Bradley's going to have the advantage picking up full court. Joe Johnson's going to have to be very careful with the basketball. Bradley is a ball hawk at the defensive end.
Bradley playing with the bad shoulder. Started Game 4, not wearing a harness again tonight. Did in pregame warm-ups of Game 4, but nothing tonight to pad that shoulder. This is Rajon Rondo. He puts that shot up and in. Rondo coming off a spectacular 8 of 11, 20-point performance in Game 4.
And he's continuing that hot shooting from the outside. What did Doc Rivers tell us? That teams were basically disrespecting him at the offensive end. He's got to keep him honest by knocking down those 18-footers.
Josh Smith, rebound by Kevin Garnett. He had 5 rebounds in the 27 minutes he played in Game 4. Here comes Rondo right down the middle, stopping his penetration. One of the priorities tonight defensively for the Atlanta Hawks. And Johnson outside. This is Teague. Jeff Teague hitting a 3-point shot.
That's what I want to see the Hawks do a little bit more in transition before that stingy Celtic defense can set up, try to get some easy transition points.
Teague in this series now 5 of 13 with the 3-ball. Plus you hit the 3, it spreads the floor so much better. Rondo against Teague. Again he goes inside. Rebound by Smith. Josh Smith. And Paul Pierce collects the loose ball.
Good shot there by Josh Smith.
This is Paul Pierce. 3-shot. A lot of Celtic fans in the building tonight. And Paul Pierce picking up where he left off. Pierce on Sunday was 4 of 6 shooting 3 for Boston.
And he came into the series only shooting 2 of 14 from long distance.
Quickly double Johnson. Smith on the baseline. Rebound again by Kevin Garnett. Boston won Game 4, 101-79. They shot 64% in the first half. A quick Atlanta foul goes on Johnson, who picks up his first for the Hawks.
Yeah. You see right there as Paul Pierce gives up the basketball, and just a nice little brush screen there by KG to free up Paul Pierce. Right now it looks like the movement's pretty good on that left knee. Talked about missing shoot around this morning.
He's Bass at the line, a perfect 10 of 10 in the playoffs from the free throw stripe, and he continues that way. His emergence in this front line and as a starter for the Boston Celtics has spread the floor as they move Garnett to the center position, the 5.
It's interesting. His first start back in January of 1996 when Kevin Garnett came in as a rookie, he was playing small forward. 15 years later now, his natural position is at the center position. He's played fantastic for the Celtics since Doc Rivers made the move.
Johnson trying to facilitate and gets it outside to Marvin Williams. The rebound collected by Horford, who had missed so many games, knocked away by Bradley and out of bounds off Boston. When we saw Horford take the floor in play on Sunday night it was emotional for him and for his teammates because he had missed so much time, 4 months with the torn pec.
Well, it's always good to be back on the floor, but as soon as he took the floor, he took that quick hit, which kind of jolted back on when he got that injury in Indiana. But it's good to know that that pec responded to the hit.
Smith is 0 of 3, finds Williams. Errant pass, another Atlanta turnover, their second. And Rondo finding Pierce in mid-stride, and Pierce drops the hammer. 7-0 run by Boston.
What a start here from Doc Rivers and the Celtics. Really giving the taste to Atlanta their own medicine of getting out in transition.
Another turnover starting just the same way it started Sunday night. Turnovers and the Celtics cashing in on everyone. Here's Horford watching Rondo. Teague is on Bass. He makes easy duty with the smaller Atlanta defensive player.
Yeah, but how about the decision by Rondo? This is the reason why I think he is the best pure point guard in the NBA. You understand, he knows and understands where everyone is on the floor. The trailing Paul Pierce with a nice finish.
Hello, it is.
There were no changes coming out of that break. 4 minutes gone here in the first quarter. The Celtics with the quick start in game 4. 11-4. Tonight, quick start 11-3. Smith snaps it outside. Williams to Teague, and the shot clock is at 3. So Teague will drive into Pierce. Slammed in by Horford, and he was not blocked out on the play. That stops a 9-0 run by Boston.
Well, the reason why he wasn't blocked out is because Kevin Garnett came over for the help on Teague, and no one really got his man off the board.
Rondo, number 1 in the NBA playoffs in assists, minutes played, and steals. Bradley across the lane, rejected by Horford. Into Johnson. Out to Smith. Joe Johnson. Rebound by Paul Pierce of Boston.
On that backdoor cut that Horford delivered to Johnson, he had a wide open layup.
It's Garnett, doubled inside, and picked up by Marvin Williams. Here's Horford at the other end, and Paul Pierce's defense to meet him right there. I would test that knee if I were Atlanta. I'd test that Paul Pierce knee.
Absolutely, but you got Horford who's passed the basketball right there. He's not going to take off the dribble Paul Pierce.
Mismatch, Teague, defended by Kevin Garnett, who was brought in. The switch was not what Boston was looking for.
Yeah, that's a tough, good, makeable shot by Jeff Teague, but everything is coming from the perimeter for the Atlanta Hawks.
Jeff Teague so far has been the most efficient Atlanta shooter in this series, and in the season, another 3. Pierce hit his first. Fans there. Smith the rebound. Smith is the top rebounder in the playoffs thus far. Horford. Injured game 11. Missed 4 months. Works on Bass. Nice defense by Brandon Bass of Boston.
And we're talking about Jeff Teague basically sizing up Kevin Garnett right here. Point guard versus center. He understands he has the quickness advantage. Nice step back there by Teague to create that space.
Steamsma has come in for the Boston Celtics. Greg is a rookie out of Wisconsin, undrafted. Garnett will take a seat. This is all part of the shift plan that they used to rest him. Bass left free to fire. Steamsma, who's in for rebounding defense, comes up with a good one right there. Pierce thinking about 3. Bass with the screen. Switch on defense. Smith. Pierce.
So smooth. I mean, he understands he can get anywhere on the floor, especially with that dribble, and he had the bigger Josh Smith on him, just took him right to the rack.
You see those Atlanta turnovers right there. Boston is converted on every one of them, so the points off turnovers being cashed in on by the Celtics, and the Atlanta Hawks, Reggie, have started 3 of 12 from the floor. Rondo. He should have taken it himself.
Absolutely. Wide open. Horford out here trying to play point center.
The drive at Marvin Williams. Right into Steamsma, who's backpedaling on the play and picks up the foul. Steamsma picks up his first for Boston. So Ernie Johnson, it's a busy night. We have all kinds of closeout games coast to coast as we swing it to you for the first time tonight in our Atlanta studios.
All right, thank you, Kev. One of those closeout games at the Field House in Indianapolis. The Pacers led by as many as 15 in the first half. Orlando goes on a 10-0 run late in the second quarter. Big Baby Davis cans the jumper. It's a 3-point game at the break, 50-47 Indiana. That game on NBA TV. Let's go back down to the highlight factory. Kevin Reg.
You got it, EJ. Thank you very much. He'll be our traffic cop tonight, taking you from game to game and summing up what is a very busy night. Even Dr. J is going to be tuned in. Dr. J, by the way, just signed a deal with the Philadelphia 76ers to be involved in their front office management. Our congratulations to one of the greats in the history of the league.
Well, shouldn't he be in Chicago?
You think so? Another block inside, another turnover by Boston, and here comes Teague, who loses the ball, and Bass finds it at his doorstep, and Pierce the other way. Paul Pierce cashes in. More points off turnovers for Boston, and Pierce has started 4 of 6 after concluding the other night 10 of 13 from the floor.
You come up with a steal. How about the outlet there by Bass? In stride to hit the truth, Paul Pierce. He thinks about it for a second, and then he sees a streaking Paul Pierce. Nice finish there by the all-time leader, playoff points, Paul Pierce.
McGrady comes in, taking the place of Marvin Williams. It's interesting watching Boston's offense because now, Reggie, it seems like that it's matching what they're doing defensively. They really are hitting on all cylinders on offense, last 2 games in particular.
And we hadn't seen that type of shooting from the Boston Celtics ever since the Big Three have been assembled. But you're right, I think their offense is now finally starting to catch up their defense.
Here's the hesitation out to Rondo, a Steamsma screen. Rebound by Smith Rondo the other night, 20 points and 16 assists and just a single turnover. Inside on the alley-oop to Horford. There's Teague, who played at Wake Forest, and Joe Johnson, who played at Arkansas, getting a Smith screen, a kick ball, and we'll go back to 14 on the shot clock and under 4 to play here in the first quarter with Game 4 shooting, a big part of Doc Rivers' win over Larry Drew.
Well, you can talk about the field goal percentage, but look at the turnovers, especially on the road. If you're Atlanta, you can't turn the basketball over against a hungry, stingy defensive team like the Boston Celtics, especially when you're putting the ball and giving extra possessions and the ball in the hands of Rajon Rondo.
Ray Allen checked in moments ago, and now checking in for Boston is Michael Pietrus. Here comes Eric Dampier. He'll check in the contest for Horford. They want to make sure they don't push Horford too strong. Too many minutes in his second game back. Paul Pierce will take a breather. I don't get the feeling in talking to Doc and being around Boston that Ray Allen is still feeling 100%. We know the bone spurs are down there. I don't think he knows sometimes how he's going to feel, 80%, 90%, or 100%.
I've had the same thing, and every day is a different day. You may feel 100% one day, and you wake up the next day and you can barely walk. Trial by error.
And to Dampier. He's a big body inside, and he's got a size advantage on Steamsma, which they played well that time.
Yeah, and just throw it to the rim. He doesn't have the best hands, but right on that
series, they've all been 3-point tries. Atlanta is on a 10-4 run, and here comes Heinrich playing the point for the Hawks. McGrady, nice ball, rotates to Dampier. Smith right on the doorstep. Rejected by Steamsma the second time up. Here comes Rondo the other way. He is 1 of 5.
And now you have to wonder if Josh Smith really has all his lift back from his own knee injury.
I think clearly he doesn't.
Right.
That explosiveness, Reggie, just is not there.
Well, I'll tell you what is explosive is right here. Finally, Joe Johnson is trying to show a little bit of that scoring touch of the leading scorer. And here's the missed dunk by Smith, and then the block shot by Steamsma afterwards.
Garnett is coming for Bass. Joe Johnson picks up his second personal foul. Rondo's on top, picked up by Heinrich, and here comes off a screen Ray Allen. Rondo off a screen. Shot clock at 6. Ray takes it inside. Ray Allen, who has not been shooting the free ball that much, has been terrific from outside in the playoffs, as we mentioned. 52% shooting, a lot of them in the mid-range time, and that one we saw going inside.
Yeah, 25 points combined in games 3 and 4, and big contributions off the bench for the Celtics.
Big Dampier screen. That's a foul on Dampier, which knocks Michael Petrus right off his horse. In French, where he's from France, they say Sacré Bleu.
I don't know if they say that.
Yes, they do.
But they're going to be saying ouch afterwards after that screen there by Dampier.
Oui. That's a foul on